I'm Caleb Brooks with the AHSAA Radio Network. I'm at Spain Park High School, joined by head boys basketball coach, Coach Chris Laatsch. And Coach, it's crazy to think that we're already a month into the season. I've said that to about everybody, but it really is. It flies by, and I know it flies by for you guys. And kind of take me back to this summer. Kind of getting this team going. You kind of start figuring out, this is the guys I'm going forward with and playing this season with. And when you think back to then and then where you guys are at now, where do you really feel like this team has really grown the most to this point?
Well, I think if I step back and do that, I'm just really amazed at how far they've come. We've only got 3 guys back from last year's team, so there was a lot of ground to cover. But the buy-in's been good, the work ethic's been good, the coachability's been good, the effort's been good. And just I think every facet of the game, and just learning how to work hard every day, play hard every day, not take a rep off, not take a play off. I think these guys have just grown in that. We're really young and inexperienced, but they're, when you think about where we started in the summer to where we are a month in, I'm just real proud of and impressed with how far they've come.
Being so young, when you have a young team and you lose as many as you lost off last year's team, how do you have to adjust as a coach and coaching these guys maybe compared to how you coached last year's team?
I think every year is different. I really do. I think, because as a high school coach, since you can't go out and choose players, you've got to, as a coach, be well-rounded enough in your understandings of offenses and defenses and presses and things like that to know what fits that group's talents and abilities and how to help them be as successful as they can be. So I think it's our job as coaches to understand a lot of things. And so I think every year is different. I think the experience part comes into just being in that first varsity game and being where the stakes are a little bit higher and the speed's a little bit faster, and then just getting accustomed to those things. But I think, every year we have to look at who our pieces are, what can they do well, and then what kind of system can we run to allow them to be successful with their talents and abilities.
So, with this year's team, how do you feel like you had to adjust, your style of play compared from last year's team to this year's team?
Yeah, I think that, like maybe originally we thought we were going to be a little bit more with our press and play a little bit faster. And we've had to dial that back just a little bit, being a little more intentional about when we press rather than doing it all game long, intentional about when we push rather than all game long. But I think we've kind of found a happy medium for where they are, where they're comfortable, and where they can be successful. And so I think we've found that with them. And then I think even as the season evolves, you start finding out, okay, these guys are stepping up, these guys are improving in these areas, and now we can add this or take this away. And I think it's just a constant evolving all the way till you get to the area tournament, and then hopefully you've got it figured out what you're best at.
You look at the schedule that you guys have played, and it's very tough. And, with a young team, how have you felt about how they've handled these tough games and these tough environments you guys have gone and played in?
Well, I'm real proud of them because they've accepted the challenges. We haven't been, I'm not sure we did that every night. I don't think we've been at our best every night, but I think they're starting to learn over the last couple of weeks that, no matter who we play, we're trying to shrink our focus down to just, hey, let's dominate the day. Whether it's a practice, whether it's a rep, whether it's a drill, whether it's a game, let's win the day. Let's go 1-0 today. Let's shrink it down and just let's be our best. Let's not worry about who we're playing because then all of a sudden guys get up for certain games, not up. Let's set our standard. What is acceptable for us? Let's meet that expectation, and let's be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I was my best today. And if it was good enough, great. If it wasn't, that's okay. But let's control us today.
You've spent times at other high schools and around this area. Briarwood, Helena, and you were at Briarwood for a long time. And, being at those type of places, how much did those experiences, at all the other places you've been at really help mold you into the coach that you are now here at Spain Park?
Oh, well, I think you always got to be a learner. I tell other coaches that I talk with, when you stop learning, whether it's learning systems, learning how to treat people, motivate people, encourage people, lead people, when you stop trying to learn and grow and get better, then you probably need to get out of it. And I just want to be a lifelong learner. So I try to take the things through every year and every season and take all those things. I take them as blessings and opportunities to learn and grow as a coach so that hopefully the next team is a little bit better. So I think that goes from the floor, from the locker room to player meetings to everything, casting visions, all of that, leadership, holding them accountable, all those things you take a little bit from everything. And I think at the end of every year, you have to analyze. Last year was the toughest year professionally that I'd ever had with situations and things, and we didn't ever perform to a level that I thought we could, except in spots. We couldn't get that consistency. And so, our staff has to sit down and look ourselves in the mirror. Okay, what role do we play in that, and what do we have to do to get better? And so we do that, and we were real critical, or I was real critical of myself from last year. And so, we hopefully learned some lessons and are better because of it.
Obviously the game of basketball has changed, over the last really about 10 years, but, for sure over the last 20 years. But has your style of coaching, the way that you coach, changed at all in your mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to. I think the way the game is officiated is a lot different. I think it's allowed to be a lot more physical. It's allowed to have more hand checks and things like that. When I first started, we were very much motion based, pass and reading action and things like that. I think now we do a little bit more quicker because they're allowing guys to get into the ball, so it's harder to read action. I think so. The way the game has changed, how it's been officiated, absolutely. I think you have to adjust, and we have. We've changed some of our defensive philosophies. When I first started, we were get in the ball, deny every pass, try to get it on the side and keep it there, and sell out to that. And now we've become more pack line defense, zone, changing defenses, try to keep people off balance. So I've definitely changed as my career has gone into what I hung my hat on, but I think it's allowed us to be successful.
When I asked, one of your players, what's the goal for this team, for him to, say 1-0 every day and kind of repeat that message that you've been kind of trying to get across. I mean, that has to make you feel happy that they're at least understanding that and knowing, this is what we need to do.
It does. I can't tell you how much I love this team. I just, the buy-in, we just got through practicing and going through our walkthrough for today's game, and just going over the ready list that we do and the scouting report, and man, every one of them's eyes are just locked in and they're soaking it in, and they're not thinking about what they want to go do next or where they're going to go eat lunch, or they're dialed in to what we're doing, and as a coach, that's all you want. I want them to trust me, and I want to have a relationship with them. And I feel like we're having that trust. I want to trust them and them to trust me, and so they do. They're buying in, and it was encouraging to sit over there and hear Josh and Cam repeat the things that we're teaching and talking about. That means they're not just hearing it, but they're trying to do those things, and that's why I'm so proud of our team and where we are today. Not satisfied, like I tell them all the time. We don't want this to be the highlight. At the banquet at the end of the year, we're talking about tonight. We want it to go bigger and better. But they're doing the things that are going to allow us, hopefully, to continue to grow and be successful.
Looking ahead for this team and area play, obviously you guys want to host this area tournament here. What's it going to take for this group? Where do you guys really need to improve at in order to put yourselves in position to win the area?
Yeah, well, we're doing a really good job defensively. We're selling out to that. We're committing more to the defensive glass, which was a weakness last year, and these guys are really buying into that. We struggled earlier in the year, but we're really starting to put in. I think we gave up 2 offensive rebounds last night, 1 the game before that. So these guys are really committing to the defensive glass. Defensively, Thompson had a 10-game winning streak, came in here, and our guys played really well. And I know Cam alluded to that game, but we played really well that night, and we held them to 17 points in the second half. Last night we held a team that had scored 72 on us earlier in the year, held them to 21 points in the second half. So our guys are really committing to the defensive side of the ball, and we're going to continue to get better at that, hopefully eliminate easy baskets for other people, make them earn everything. So we've got to do that. And then we've got to grow on the offensive end of handling the ball. We don't take enough pride in handling the ball right now. We're turning it over too much, and we've got some guys that can score, but we need to get a shot attempt, and so we've got to improve in handling the ball. Because our area, Hewitt's going to guard really, really hard. Vestavia's doing a lot of run and jump stuff now, and of course Mountain Brook's as good as it comes in pressing. And those are the guys we have to beat. So we've got to get better at handling the ball. But our guys are committing to that, working on that every day, and being intentional about improving that part of their game. And so hopefully if we keep doing that, we'll have a chance.
Obviously everybody knows what Mountain Brook has been able to do the last couple of years, and are they a team that you guys talk a lot about, or is it just kind of one of those things where you're not really focused on them and you're just really focused on you?
Yeah, I really try hard not to talk too much about opponents, because that's things I can't control. I got tremendous respect for Coach McMillan and what he's done over there. best program in the state, year in, year out. I mean, they're just tremendous what they've done. They get players that buy in and play really hard. But I can't control all that. All I can do is help Spain Park be the best team that we can be. And then hopefully on that night, we can be better than them that night, and that's really our goal. So we don't really talk, obviously we game plan for every opponent, but as far as looking down the road, we're not talking about, hey, what's next week with the kids. We do with the coaches. But for the kids, it's, hey, let's win today. And if we're as good as we can be and we knock enough shots down and we play well that night, hey, let's see who we can beat.
Every coach, when they come into a program, they're trying to establish, what their idea of their program is. And so now in the last year and a half, how have you felt about how you've been able to kind of establish your program here and the way that you want things run at Spain Park?
Yeah, no, I think that's true. You have to, there has to be leadership and there has to be a vision cast. And I think, we want our guys to play with character. We want them to play with extreme effort, with great attitudes. We want to, represent our school and our community and our basketball program in a quality way. That's important to us, and we teach that a lot. I want them to learn how to be great men, be great husbands and fathers one day and members of society. And I want them to be able to do those things. I want them to learn how to be a part of a team and be a part of something bigger than themselves, that they would lose themselves in what we're doing, because you're on a team the rest of your life. You're in a family, you've got a business, you've got a community, you've got a church, you've got whatever. You're a part of a team and it's not about you. And so I think those are the things that we're trying to get. These groups are buying into that, and then from then, though, the program's really about them, and I want them to walk out of here at the end and say, you know what, I had a coach that loved me, I had a coach that pushed me, that challenged me, that prepared me, and I'm glad that I had an opportunity to play for Coach Laatsch at Spain Park High School.
Coach, appreciate you taking time to sit down with me
Thank you so
and
much
making
for being
time for
out.
me today.
Yep.
Good luck to you guys tonight.
Thank you.
And as you guys go on in this tournament, and looking forward to seeing the rest of the season and how it goes for you.
Well, thanks for all you do promoting our kids and high school basketball and high school athletics all together. We appreciate what you guys do for us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.